There, Synth. Thanks for joining me again today. I'm going to be talking about a new Jupiter, the Jupiter X. Hi, I'm Pure Ambient Drone. This is my channel where I vlog about synthesizers. Hit the subscribe button, tap the bell, keep up with all of my synth adventures, and thank you for supporting me at patreon.com/Pure Ambient Drone. Don't worry, there's a link in the description and in a comment below. Thank you for that support because I was able to save up money to buy the Behringer MS1. Now just think about this. With just a few supporters that I have so far on patreon.com, I have been able to save up enough money to get a Behringer MS1, and that is so cool. Why? Because the Behringers are so inexpensive that even with the small support that I'm getting so far, and I know that's going to grow, thank you guys, I was able to purchase one of their synthesizers. So that is so cool. That is so cool. Thank you guys. If you haven't already seen my MS1 video demos, go ahead and search my site, my channel, and get to those too. Now, let's get to the Jupiter X. Roland has announced that they're coming out with a Jupiter X. Now, this is probably going to be their flagship for 2020 because that's when it's slated to come out. However, a smaller version of it is coming out, I believe, at the end of this month, by the end of this month, and it's going to be called the Jupiter XM. Now, what is so special about this Jupiter XM, according to Roland, is that it's going to have a new redefined arpeggiator. All right, and it's also going to be able to emulate things like the Roland Juno 106, along with some of its JP strings and, of course, the Jupiter strings, and a whole host of other Roland classic products. Now, in my opinion, when I look at this, I'm thinking it's just a Roland Integra 7 on steroids. I'm on the website for Roland. I'm looking at some of the cool features that they're talking about, and it sounds really cool. I had the Integra 7, and I have to say that Roland really nails it for a studio box. The Integra 7, if you're into in-the-box production and you need one thing to do almost everything, and you just need to get an emulation of sound, the Integra 7 is, wow. It's an amazing thing. And I'm believing, in my opinion, that the Roland Jupiter X is going just to be this thing out of the box with some added features. Now, with that being said, they have scrapped the name Super Natural as their sound engine. If you guys know anything about Roland, they like to emulate analog with something called the Supernatural sound engine. Now they're calling it the next generation sound engine, whatever that is. I guess it's just a supernatural sound engine. The problem I have with the Roland products today is that, to my ears, they sound way too clean for my genre of music that I like to produce. Now, I'm not saying that they don't have their place, because they definitely do. And if I was a mainstream audio producer, I would definitely go with Roland 100%, because it is so clean, it is so pristine, it is just like right up there. I don't think you can get a better product than a Roland Supernatural, or I haven't heard it yet, but I'm sure the next generation. With that being said, I don't think that this is something that we synth drones who are into the analog sound and the analog texture. Now, remember, I'm talking about texture of sound here when I'm comparing the two. I'm not saying that digital cannot emulate the sound of analog. What I am saying is that it cannot emulate the texture of analog. So let me give this some comparison. You can buy fake flooring that looks like wood, and you can rub your hands on it, and in some cases, if the fake flooring is really good, you will feel bumps and grooves on it, and to the eye, it can almost fool it, okay? But then when you walk into a room with real wood floors, okay, and you put your hand down and you touch the wood, you can tell that one is wood and one is fake. And you can also tell by the eye if you look long enough. And what I'm saying is that it's the little details that count. So for me, I love analog, and I have fallen more in love with analog than ever before. And I think it's because of the texture of analog. There's just no other way to describe a sound, okay? Analog has a warmth to it. It has a movement. It has a liveliness to it. There's something alive about analog. When I play with my analog gear, no matter how many times I grab the same preset, and I play with it long enough on the keyboard, I don't always hear the same sterile sound that I would if I had a digital keyboard. And that's why I sold my Montage. I love the Montage. It sounded absolutely fantastic. In fact, I liked it better than I did the Chronos. And so every time that I would get on the Montage, it just sounded kind of sterile to me. It always sounded like every time I grabbed the preset, it was the same sound all the time to my ears. And that's because I have trained ears, all right? The average listener probably doesn't have trained ears, and they would love something produced on that, and I'm sure they do. But to me, I love movement. I love the sound to be organic. I love it to be alive, to be moving, to evolving, to be different in just little bitty differences that count. Now, with that being said, that doesn't mean that the Roland Jupiter X isn't for anybody, because it's obviously for a lot of people. And I'm sure that it's going to be one heck of a string machine, because to be honest with you, Roland has done a really good job in emulating some of the strings that are out there. However, I got to tell you something, and this is really important, and this is just my own experience, my own opinion. I was messing around with the Juno 6 that I have here, and I haven't had a whole lot of time with this because I've been so busy. For some of you who haven't been keeping up with my videos, which you should be keeping up with my videos, I am moving, and it doesn't look like that right now because I haven't got to this room yet, but the whole house has been torn apart and packed, and this is the last place to go. Now, with that being said, I got a chance yesterday to just sit down and play some strings on the Juno 6. And oh man, I had some of these other synthesizers going at the same time, and just the beautiful warmth of the Juno 6 just absolutely blew me away. And in comparison, you know, I kicked up the Access Virus C, which does a really great job in its own dimension, okay? And I was playing with the strings on that first, and then I went to the Juno 6 and I dialed in some strings, and it's so quick to dial in sounds on the Juno 6. I'm like, wow, just listen to how it just fits in the mix, and it's just, oh, the texture is just unbelievable. Now, to give Roland a little bit of credit this time around, they got a lot of buttons, a lot of sliders, so we're going to love that. And I haven't heard this machine yet. I know it's going to sound good. I just noticed Roland makes some really good sounding machines. However, they are stuck in this plastic world, this real plastic world. And that's what I didn't like about some of their synthesizers that I was purchasing, is that a lot of their stuff feels real kind of like cheap and plasticky. And it looks like this might be no difference. I don't know. I haven't touched the thing yet. I don't know what the build quality is, but I have a FA06, and it's real plastically, you know, little plastic feeling thing. Although I have to admit, you know, I've got the Juno 106 up here, and there's plastic on it, but I got to tell you, the build quality of this Juno 106, I mean, come on, man, this thing was built in 1982, 83, somewhere around there, and look at it, man. I mean, it still works. It's unbelievable. This is some great stuff. This is professional gear. This Juno 106 was built for professionals who are making a living at their keyboards. In fact, here's the thing. Back when these synthesizers were first built, a home studio was really not something people really thought of, okay? Unless it was some guy with a guitar amplifier and a 4-track recorder laying down tracks. That was about as close as you got to a bedroom producer back in the day, okay, for the most part. I'm not saying it never happened, but that was, you know, that was really the extent of it. I didn't know anybody that had massive keyboards like I've got here today and produce in their bedroom with the gear that I've got. It was always in a separate building, and the person was making a huge business out of it, which I am doing, by the way. But I do it from home. That's so cool. But these machines were made for professional gear, or excuse me, touring. And man, the build quality, in my opinion, is far superior from yesteryear than it is today. But you know what they say, they don't build them like they used to. Anyway, I'm rambling on, and that means it's time for me to get off of here. Let you guys leave your comments below. Check it out. You can find the Jupiter X all over the internet now. People are talking about it. My job is just to inform you of what I think about it, because that's what this channel is all about. It's about us discussing it. And I would love to hear you guys leave a comment below what you think about the Jupiter X from Roland. And then don't forget, the Jupiter XM is coming as well, okay? So that's going to be available supposedly by this month, okay? But the Jupiter X itself is slated for 2020. Anyway, until next time, hit the subscribe button, tap the bell, support me over at patreon.com/pureambientdrone. Check out the links in the description and the comment below. And keep calm and synth on.